Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. In this episode, tutorials. So, I was thinking the other day about tutorials for MechWarrior Online. So we'll talk about, we'll think about how much time we spend in the game, right? Break it down to percentage-wise. You're either pretty much in one of, well, I'll say one of three locations. A, you're in a match, whether it be faction warfare or community warfare. Or sorry, faction warfare / community warfare, or in a quick play match or private match. 2, you're in either a private lobby, faction warfare / community warfare lobby, or a group lobby, getting ready to launch in a quick play. And then number 3, you're in the MechLab. I'm also throwing in the Academy Bay into like the whole play modes where you're actually playing and doing tutorials and things like that. So then I was thinking, tutorials. That actually just popped into my mind right there. Tutorials. So we had tutorials on how to play, you know, what different things you should use, weapons and all that stuff. But there is no tutorial for new players for the MechLab. I mean, yeah, they can go into the forums and look things up and all that stuff, and it really got me thinking. What also made me really decide to do this video, because I thought about this a while ago, but I really didn't know how to approach it, or what really to talk about and things like that. So, what really tipped me off was earlier yesterday, or today, technically, I was actually watching The Mighty Jingles, watching him talk about his Mingles with Jingles video. If you haven't seen his videos, they're pretty awesome. It does lots of World of Tanks, World of Warships, The Division on Saturdays, Armored Warfare to a point. Yeah, and now and then other games as well. But he was talking about the fact that PGI approached him, actually, when the game launched on Steam last year, to promote. He also said, and I quote, I couldn't accept their thousands of dollars. So they offered him thousands of dollars. I'm thinking probably 2 or 3 to play MechWarrior Online and do a video, or videos probably, about it. Now, here's the thing. He said no. And the reason why he said no made me think, if he said no but then told him the reason why, that would be significant feedback that they should have gotten, and they should have acted on it. If he just said no, thank you, and didn't give them feedback, I understand why this hasn't happened. But, and that's also one thing that kind of popped into my mind. No one really did many videos around the Steam launch. There wasn't that big publicity. There wasn't much publicity around the Steam launch. There were announcements and all that stuff, but there were no big YouTubers doing videos or anything like that on the game, which made me think that means a lot of them probably said no. And I think they're all saying no for the same reason that Jingles said no. So the reason why he said no was, first things first, he likes the gameplay. He likes the Academy Bay, or the Academy, how it walks you through everything. And he says, you know, obviously there's some issues with the game that have been addressed. And he said the game's pretty good. You know, it's not amazingly good. It's not awesome. It's okay. I am actually going to cough here. Sorry about that. So he said it's okay, which to me, for a game that's still in works, okay, no big deal. I'm not going to hold that against him. For someone who's been playing World of Tanks and all that stuff, he knows his shit. So I'm not gonna say boo to that. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Especially if I give it to them. But anyways, so he said that his biggest problem in the game was the MechLab. He actually didn't know what to do. He basically made it sound like it was kind of convoluted and overly developed, or not even overly developed, just too much to do and not much information how to do it. So that got me thinking, why don't we have tutorials for the MechLab in the game? Like when a new player starts up, and I've done this because I even tried setting up a new account just to see, it forces you into the Academy Bay, or into the Academy, and throws you in that Thunderbolt, makes you do all the stuff, and then kind of goes, okay, there you go. Part of that should be, after it kicks you out of the Academy Bay, it should push you into the MechLab and say, okay, hold on. Here is all the different things you need to know about the MechLab. And it should walk you through at that point what all the different options are. It should show you first where the tab is at the top. It should show you then on this left side what all the different buttons do. It should then break down all the different chassis, like to the different types, you know, lights, mediums, heavies, and assaults, and what they're predominantly used for in lore, or in the game mostly. It should break down weapon types, so small, medium, and large for the lasers, all the different types of autocannons and LBXs. It should break the difference between planet and sphere. So it should give you at the beginning a trial mech, and it should say, hey, listen, this is how you put a weapon on. Click and drag. You do it. Okay. Now, you have a set amount of tonnage, and it'll show you at the bottom. Of this tonnage, you can use up for weapons and you know, engines and all that stuff, and have it so that it has a mech built in front of the person. So, like my trebuchet, for example, right? When I finish the MechLab, or sorry, finish the Academy Bay, it then pops me right into the MechLab, right into this screen, or not even to this screen, into the home screen here. Let's get all this out of the way. Now it says, okay, now before you can continue and actually, you know, your career as a MechWarrior, you have to make sure you know how to build your mech. So, next thing we're going to do is walk you through how to work on a mech and the basic information for the MechLab. So then everything's kind of graded a little bit. And it shows, hey, click here. So this will flash, you know, like this, right? So it flashes. So you click. It brings you in here and it says, this is the MechLab. This is the paper doll, or whatever you want to call it, of your mech and its loadout. And it breaks down what everything generally is. Now, obviously, it would pick a mech that has everything. So it can go with that trebuchet, with the Thunderbolt, whichever one it was that you had in oh, I'm trying to remember which one it was in the Academy Bay. But then, you know, you could say this is, you know, this is a ballistic slot. It shows you a little icon. There's a little circle around it, a little line. It says, this is a ballistic icon. This is an energy icon. This is a missile icon. This is an AMS icon, and this is an ECM icon. So give someone a breakdown of everything. Like, okay, now just so you know, energy weapons can go here. Energy weapons are broken up into the following: small, medium, large. This is what each one of them does. Ballistics are broken up into two different main types of ballistics. Autocannons, well, actually three technically. Autocannons, PPC, Gauss rifles, Gauss rifles, Gauss rifles, whatever you want to call them, and autocannons. Autocannons come in the following, LBX come in the following, and Gauss rifles, gas rifles are like, you know, are just this. Missiles, same thing, SRMs, LRMs, minimum, maximum ranges, and talk about everything for the weapons. What they're best used for, what they do, you know, then talk about heat efficiencies, explain what all the numbers are in the bottom right-hand corner, break it all down, give them enough information that they can get a mech and play with it and try it. Now, what you can also do is give them a mech, like a medium, completely stripped down, and walk them through building it. Say, okay, first what we're going to do, give them basically a trial mech, have it stripped down, and basically just build that trial the way it's supposed to be, right? So put the following engine in. Put the following weapon here. Click and drag, right? And show. Right? Like in a ghost form, the weapon being dragged from right to left. So drag this, do that. At the very end, say, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to test the mech real quick. Show it going to home, you know, the Academy Bay, and going into the battle zone. And then you play with the trial mech there in the battle zone real quick and get used to it. You know, something like that. Something that'll be hand-holding for the first hour. You know, if you hold someone's hand for the first hour and walk them through everything, then it's good. And then after that, you say, okay, no problem. Here's the thing. You're good to go. We're going to let you go. But if you want to redo or go back over some fine points of the MechLab tutorial, on the left side here, so below Manage Drop Pods, it should say Tutorial. You click that, and it breaks it into a huge list, and it just says energy weapons, ballistics, blah, 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 blah. Breaks everything down. So you click on, say, ECM. It says ECM is used up to 90 meters. This is what it's used for. This is the icon if it is on a mech. You can add it. ECM costs the following for inner sphere and the following for clan. And have it set up so that, the person also does work on a clan mech as well. So have them work on both an inner sphere mech first and then a clan mech second. Swapping out arms, swapping out torsos. Fiddling and farting around with a few things, playing with things here and there. That way they get the feel for everything. You know what? I have no problem with a game hand-holding me for the first hour and a bit in a game if it leaves me with the confidence and the realization that I now know kind of what I'm doing. No big deal. But it also gives me the ability to go back later and look back at something that I have a question on. If I can simply click 2 buttons and get the information I need to build out a mech, I'd be happy to do it. And that's one thing I think the game really needs, is a MechLab tutorial. Does that mean I'm going to make one? To be 100% honest with you, I don't know if I'm good for doing something like that. I've done faction warfare tutorials, so I might do a multi-stage MechLab tutorial. Just breaking down what all the icons are, what all the logos are, what everything means. It'd be high production cost, meaning that if I do it, I'm going to stretch it out over a long period of time and do a lot of editing, pictures, and stuff like that. So we will have to see. Plus, I have to try and figure out how to do some editing and stuff, but we'll figure that out. But anyways, thanks for watching. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.